I thought the days of player revolts were gone at Manchester United, but breaking news tonight is that there is growing concerns amongst the Manchester United playing staff that Ruben Amorim needs to change. Not them, not the unprofessionalism of this squad and this playing staff, but Ruben Amorim. Another manager has to succumb to the uselessness of what these players are. Really? That's where we're going with this? I mean, you know what I feel about Ruben Amorim and his style. You know what? I actually said something the other day when I get back into that I was absolutely slaughtered for. I'm going to go back to that. Another jam-packed day full of news in what has been an absolute disaster of a day for INEOS. And the news coming out tonight regarding more job cuts from Manchester United. It's not been officially announced yet to them people that are losing their jobs. So on this and where INEOS are going to be questions, and we're going to get into it in a minute. I have to also tonight go in on the media a little bit. On the day that Manchester United heart has been ripped out and we celebrate another legend of this football club and the passing of Dennis Law, the media leaked this news out on the day of his funeral about more job cuts within Manchester United for local people. Honestly, sometimes I know INEOS are bad and we're going to talk about that in a minute, but the media have not helped today. They've not helped one bit, and I do have to criticise a little bit on that there as well. Bring you updates on Casemiro as well and everything else going on. There's a lot of detail on these cuts that INEOS are making and the reasons why I want to discuss with everybody as well tonight. It is very, very complex and there is a lot going on right now. We're going to start with the Daily Mail story, Chris Wheeler, and what is going on with this Manchester United playing staff. Honestly, you get rid of Rashford, you get rid of some other players, you get rid of headaches at this club, and then bang, it's still there. Who is it? What is going on? Are the Daily Mail just scamming us? Are they saying that something's going on when it's not? Is there no news? Are they making things up? I can't see it. There would have been something leaked out from someone who's unhappy at Manchester United. This is usually what happens. And you usually get some source coming out from the club leaking something from the players. It goes back to the leaks. It goes back to the unrest. It goes back to these players not getting what they want again. And there is no one else at Manchester United, like we've discussed before, for them to go and complain to. It is all Ruben and INEOS staff in situ right now, and the players don't like it. Their bubble has been burst, and they are spitting their dummies out again and throwing the toys out the pram. They don't like it. They're being slaughtered and criticised by the fans, and it's not their fault. It's the coaching. It doesn't work. We're on hundreds of grand a week. We're getting paid millions a year. It's the coach's fault that we can't play football. Oh, F off. For God's sake, I'm sick to the back teeth of this crap coming out about these players and what is going on. First of all, the leaks again. I mean, seriously, I thought it was, well, and it's never going to end, I know that, but come on. Who is leaking this out and how this has got out? It's embarrassing again. It really is. It's not helping Ruben Amorim. Imagine just having a week to train with the players. He's just let some of the players go away and have a break with the families as well, and then this breaks. I mean, the man is backed up against the wall already. He's taking pelters from everybody. He's got his hands tied behind his back. And now we've got more leaks coming out from the so-called playing staff that he is going to trust going forward, that it's not good enough and his system has to change. I'm going to read the extract. If you haven't seen a bit of the article or in fact the tweet from Chris Wheeler and what he has written about this and where this has come from, I'll just get into it now first of all. Okay, so it's come from Chris Wheeler and Nathan Salt from the Daily Mail, as we know. Some Manchester United players have discussed amongst themselves whether a change of plan that is better suited to their style of play might be the best way forward. There is growing concern among some players that teething problems that they are experiencing under Amorim are not going to improve unless he considers at least tweaking the system. Teething problems? 20 bastard games, lads. 20. What are you on about? Teething problems? I mean, it's like, if the wording is not theirs, I don't know. I mean, they're probably trying to make this as soft as it possibly can be without sounding really inept, to be honest. But teething problems? I mean, come on. Seriously, first of all, I said it then, 20 games. If you are not professional enough to be able to adapt to a system, then you're not a professional footballer. I've said this before. It's pathetic how this excuse has been used, and has been used to protect the players. Every single former player I've heard use this same thing. It's a system. You've got to get the best out of the players. Well, maybe if you do your research and look into Manchester United over the last 10 years, oh yeah, and you would have been part of the problem and people slagging Manchester United off for the power that these players have got and what they've been getting away with as well, pundits and former players, then you would have realised that there is nothing going right at Manchester United for the standards that this club used to uphold. And now we're looking at everything going on all over again, even with a full change of system, and people backing these players again. Pundits coming out backing these players. Former players coming out saying he has to do something different. He has to tweak his system. He cannot play free at the back. Of course, he can do what he wants. He's a coach of Manchester United. And he believes in his philosophy. He's been brought in to do a job. He's been brought in to do something that INEOS trusted him to do. And, well, let's hope they back him. We'll talk about more about that in a minute when we get into what INEOS have done today. But, honestly, Ruben Amorim right now, I've never felt more sorry for a man in my life than I have this guy. Honestly, like, he has got a ruthless streak. He's a manager of a professional football club. If you let players walk all over you, you're going to be gone in 2 years anyway. So he's just gone in and he's gone, no, I'm not going to go like the other managers. I'm going to put my authority down right now. If they don't like it, I'm going to expose them for what they are. And that looks like what he's doing right now. He's not going to change. So these players coming out right now and leaking this out to the media, or Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mail, and them actually moaning about this system again now, and another head coach. Honestly, again, it goes back to the stupidity of Jadon Sancho. Read the room. We don't care anymore. We don't care if you feel like you're being hard done to. Stop complaining, deal with it, get on with it, and start playing football. The fans have had enough of the excuses. We are 100% behind Ruben Amorim. And we are 100% behind the system on what he's doing right now. It's the best thing that's happened to Manchester United in years, this. And we understand how long this process is going to take. Not like the other coaches that succumb to the power of these players. He is fighting back, and he's fighting back hard with all guns blazing. And they don't like it. They have been shot back down into place, and they are lashing out again. And if this is true, and I'll say if, because it has been reported and it has come right out from the Daily Mail and Chris Wheeler and Nathan Stott, who go to every single Manchester United game and press conference. I've seen them there. I've interviewed Chris Wheeler twice on this channel, at Carrington and on a show before. So I know Chris Wheeler. He updates me on a lot of things going on around Manchester United. And he wouldn't have written this story unless someone creditable came out and gave him some information about it. So when you look at this again, it just reminds you of what was at Manchester United and what we thought we were getting rid of. And it depresses you, doesn't it? It just gives you that sort of like sinking, oh, not again. Please don't be going down this road again. For God's sake, we cannot be even getting anywhere near the same situation we was with players before. Look, we can't even use the Marcus Rashford excuse. We can't even say that it's him that's the problem right now. Maybe this has come out from a few weeks ago. I don't know, but I'm not going to blame Rashford for this. He's playing at Villa. So take him out of the equation completely. Take what we thought were the headaches out of the equation. And all of a sudden, you've got more leaks coming out about the players that have been left. It's like, when will it end? When will it end? So I just have to do a little bit of a disclaimer on the thumbnail. I don't necessarily mean it's them players. And I'm going to be honest with you right now. When I seen the news, I just started guessing. I'm just going to be honest and say that as it is. I see Casemiro not getting game time. I see Eriksen not getting game time. Professional footballers who've played at the highest level and won a lot that are not getting game time. I'm guessing the system's not suiting them. So he has to change it so they can carry on playing. I'm only guessing that. And Garnacho, we know, has had a problem before. And I brought Garnacho in on the thumbnail simply because I said something after that Leicester game that people slaughtered me for. And this is what I was alluding to at the top of the show. I said Ruben Amorim abandoned his system just to get the win against Leicester. And he did. And then Garnacho came out and said pretty much what I was saying. Ruben said to him, go out and enjoy it. He trusted him in what he's been telling him and teaching him. Go out and play where you want and impact the game. And he went wide. And is that the tweak that we're talking about right now? Is this other players seeing what Garnacho did and all of a sudden saying, why can't we do this? Honestly, it's pathetic for a football club for a football team, to look at it this way and feel like they have to leak something out because it is coming from the players. It has to come from the players. It's an absolute travesty that this is happening again, especially under Ruben Amorim after he's done such good work off the field in getting this team and the culture and everything moving forward at Manchester United and laying foundations for United to work in the future. It really sickens me the way that this has gone down. It really does. And you know what? I cannot handle this all happening again. I really can't. And yeah, I do believe that we are in a position right now where it either goes one way or it goes the other. With everything that's going on at Manchester United, with everything that's actually happening right now, with all of that, with everything that happened before, with everything that's going to go forward again right now, are these players now looking at the transfer window coming up in the summer and starting to lash out a little bit? Because I think some of these players know they're already out the door. I think this is half of the problem. Look, I'm going to come to your comments on this now in a moment. I'm going to get your thoughts on this now. Let's see what you think. Where is this problem lying? We have just under 1,500 in the room with us. Please get your comments in, everybody. I'm going to try and get through as much as I can. 165 likes. Get them up if you can, please, everybody, as well. Thank you for the support on the channel. And yeah, make sure you subscribe so you can get into the live chat and join the conversation with everybody else. There's some serious conversations going on in there right now, I can see already. Thomas Mercado with a super chat, first of all. Amorim must regret coming to United. The club is toxic. I'm a fan of 50 years and never seen the club as bad. It's depressing listening about Manchester United. I echo them thoughts, mate. Honestly, I've not supported them 50 years, as you know. I'm not that old. I promise you. They're making me feel that old. I'll tell you that now, Thomas, honestly. But I do agree, that is what it is at the moment. It just feels poisonous. It feels toxic. It feels hanging. It feels like it's just being dragged through the mire again. And the name of Manchester United is just laughable now. It used to stand up in football and mean something. Now all any news about United is talking about is the demise or issues or problems. There's nothing ever straightforward with United. There really isn't. And it is like Thomas said there. It's sickening and it's starting to really affect the fan base. I think people feel like giving up sometimes with Man United, like it's never ever going to change. I try to be as positive as I can, you know I do. But every time I'm positive, every time I try and spin it to a point where I can see a little bit of credit to something that happens at this club, I get double slapped in the face, kicked up the arse and then sent out the door every single time. They just know how to demoralise you, this football club. With an announcement, with the way the team plays, with decisions at the top, at the hierarchy of this football club, no matter what you try and do to spin a positive or try and be upbeat about this football club, it has that crafty little way and that what's the word I'm looking for right now? Just that knack of just kicking you. And then while you're down on the floor, they'll just give you another kick in the gut just to make sure that you are hurt and you realise that F all is going to happen going forward with this football club. I said it all along. Look, we'll get into INEOS in a minute and what's happened with them today, and that's not good. It really isn't. And you all know I am always balanced with my arguments about it, but I'm just today has hit me again. Honestly, I'm a United fan that wears my heart on my sleeve. You all know I am. You all know how I do things. I'm fair. I'm honest. I say it as it is. I say what I see. The eye test is everything to me, and I can see things today that just wind me up, honestly. It really does. Into the chat we go. I need someone else to back me up on this. When Erik ten Hag was going through this for 3 years, I doubt you felt sorry for him. No, I did feel sorry for him at the start. I gave him 2 years, mate. Come on, George. You've got to do better than that, mate. You know, if you've been following the channel, you know what I was like. I was fair. I was backing him. I gave him to the FA Cup final. I said, still get rid of him there because he's not the man to go forward with United. You've got to do more, mate. Come on. I'm fair with everybody else, and I need it back. You need to be honest. It's not about backing a certain manager right now. It's the players, and Ruben Amorim has tried to attack it head on. The other managers didn't. They didn't. And that's the issue. I backed ten Hag on Ronaldo. I backed ten Hag on Sancho. I backed him on everything he did behind the scenes. And then he gave up on Marcus Rashford. And that was the end. That was it. And his so-called philosophy and system, it went out the window. He gave up on it. And that's what I won't get behind. I will not get behind it. There is a lot of news on the INEOS side of things I'm coming to in a minute. So we'll go in detail on that, I promise you. I'll get through some of your comments right now. I'm sick of these brainless, lazy tossers who call themselves footballers. Football ain't hard to figure out. I'm 1,000% with Ruben on this, and he should stick to his values. Amorim out will be the ruin of Garnacho, Mainu and Højlund. Amorim, I say there's no comment or anything like that. Amorim out, I'm guessing. He will be the ruin of Garnacho, Mainu and Højlund. Or maybe the reality of Garnacho, Mainu and Højlund. Do you really think them players are the players that are going to take United forward the way they've performed? Like, will them players get into other top teams with systems similar to this and the demands, which are probably even more than what Ruben's asking? I'll ask that question again. That's the thanks he gets for giving them a couple of days off. Complete shower of bar stewards. That's what I said, Martin. It's like they've just got a little break as well from going through a rough patch. He'd give them time off, and all of a sudden this week we're back to training. No, I don't like it. Don't like it. Let's spin something. Let's spill this out to the media. Sancho, Rashford and others targeted as the player power are no longer here. Obviously, they weren't only the ones I said before. The key person is still here, hiding. I'll expose him more shortly. It's not Bruno Fernandes, just so you know, director of football. He's probably going to say Bruno Fernandes. It's not him, because all that guy does is work his ass off for any manager that comes through the door. So I don't think it's Ruben. I don't think it's Bruno Fernandes. I don't think it's Diogo Dalot. I think these players are playing all over the pitch and are trying to do everything they possibly can. The quality of them players is what is the issue right now and what they're producing, which is poor form and poor football. Nothing to do with what's going on behind the scenes, I don't think. INEOS might end up throwing him under the bus if he doesn't win the Europa League and the Champions League revenue comes in. Great show, peeps. Please hit the likes and a new sub. Thank you, Viking. Love that, buddy. No players that flourish here. Don't you realise that? Look, there are some players that actually do, but with the chopping and changing of managers all the time, the pouring on this football club, it's a recipe for disaster. That's it. Stu says, Amorim outers have the brain of a bean. Less than 3 months with hardly any backing to help this season. Melons. Okay. Brutal. I love it. Honesty. Yes. Right. Okay. Here we go. Let's get into the other news. This is even worse, to be honest. And this is where... Remember when I was getting the so-called comments of, Adam, you on the payroll of INEOS? Because you all wanted someone to blame. Not all of you, but the idiots that were calling me out with no real context to their claims of me being on the payroll for INEOS. I do not like what is happening. I do not like what I'm about to read out either. But this is the reality right now of Manchester United. And I don't like it one bit. This is a joke. It really is. INEOS are planning on making more than 100 further redundancies at Manchester United. The latest staff redundancies are aimed at freeing up cash for Ruben Amorim to spend on the first team. That's the get out. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how getting rid of everyday run-of-the-mill staff is going to afford Manchester United money for Ruben Amorim to spend in the summer. I don't think there's enough money there to significantly spend going forward in the summer. Adam Crafton from The Athletic has gone into more detail on this. I'm just going to read this out now. Manchester United staff argue that botched INEOS decision-making with regards to Eric Ten Hag and Dan Ashworth, agreed, as well as a questionable $200 million spent on transfers, left ordinary workers at risk of unemployment. He also goes on to say the latest wave of redundancies at Manchester United is likely to weigh heavily on the club's football department, which emerged relatively unscathed during the previous rounds, but other areas of the club will also be impacted. Good piece from Adam Crafton there from The Athletic on this one. So what INEOS are doing is cutting more jobs. they're hoping that that frees up money for Ruben Amorim to then spend in the summer. Again, I'll go back to it. How much are you expecting to make from getting rid of everyday run-of-the-mill staff who really are not on that much? I know they're not. I know a couple of people that were sacked in the first wave who have helped me out a lot with Manchester United when I've been in and around the football club. I know them. I have spoken to them off the pitch. I've spoken to them at Manchester United. I know that they will let go in the first wave. There are more people there that obviously with what we do behind the scenes and everything and the access we get to United that are probably shitting a brick right now thinking that they're going to lose their job. Just because INEOS made mistakes, and INEOS made massive mistakes. And the biggest mistake they made is the one that I just called out at the start, that I have been heavy on forever and a day, which was keeping Ten Hag as the manager and backing him with 200 million. Catastrophic error. And even if you tried to say that you thought you were bringing in the best in class in Dan Ashworth, and he was the one that was backing Ten Hag and wanted him to stay, and now you had to get rid of him and the cost with that as well, I'm 100% behind the staff here kicking off. There is going to be a revolt against the ownership. Never mind a revolt against the manager with the players. The bigger issue right now is the actual running of Manchester United and what's going on. Like, I haven't got a problem with transfer window in January. I haven't at all. I didn't have an issue with anything that happened in that window. I thought it was a good window. But this is where I cannot and will not back INEOS on decisions like this. Getting rid of general, hard-working, working-class people that are probably most majority from the local area as well. And I know they are from the people that I know. And if it is football department related at Manchester United, then there are going to be some staff that are devastated and real Manchester United people that are going to lose their jobs at this football club. And just to go back on what I said on at the start of this show as well, the media, I'm breaking this today. Of all days, Dennis Law, the legend, the king, Dennis Law's funeral day, and you're breaking this news today. You absolute disgrace. Like, seriously. Like, what is wrong? Like, read the room. Like, the players alone, issue, yes. But, my God, around United, it is just the circus, isn't it? It is the biggest problem right now is football. They cannot help it. It attracts so much attention that everybody with no news going on, because let's be honest, there's not been much happening with no football. They haven't had United to actually criticise because of what's going on the pitch. So where do we go next? Let's build a story up when all eyes are on a day of a legend of this football club being buried. It's honestly, it's so above and beyond. It's ridiculous. I know no work can't stop. Journalist world doesn't stop and everything, but dropping bombshells like this, like, honestly, is it not a sad enough day already as it is? And the guy who leaked this as well, for the player side of things, shame is what I say. But back on INEOS, I'm going to come to your comments on this in a minute. But yeah, going back to everybody that was really criticising me, or slacking me off for what I said, INEOS sympathiser. Like, seriously, you just need to listen a little bit more, people. You really do, because you're so far, you're a million miles away, and you need to actually understand what I'm trying to say. There are elements that are right in what we are doing, and there are some which are outweighing the right that are completely off the scale wrong, and that is this right now. That is this. It is a case of right now, this is a cover-up. This is a cover-up to ineptitude and how this football club has been run. It's an absolute disgrace. It's an absolute disgrace how Manchester United are treating its staff right now. I mean, it's Mike Keegan has also gone on to say as well. So it's Mike Keegan and Adam Crafton who have broke this news regarding the staffing situation at United. Manchester United staff are not thought to have been made aware of the latest proposals. The news is expected to be broken to them formally at some point in the near future. No final numbers are thought to have been decided on, but it is expected that it's going to be 100 plus staff members at Manchester United are now going to lose their jobs in the latest round of cuts. It's brutal, is what it is. It's unfair, and again, it's a massive cover-up for the way that this club has been run. And you know what? INEOS are part of it, and the decisions that they have made have been catastrophic to this season. And it all started in the summer. Dan Ashworth, Ten Hag, the staff that you got rid of that probably didn't need to be gotten rid of. It is embarrassing. It really is. And that is on INEOS. That really is on them. Samwise with a super chat. Just going to get through a few of these. Never had such contempt for a group of men. Amorim has aged about 10 years. Ten Hag is a good coach, but Amorim seems to be more that he will take us to the top and make us the powerhouse again, says Andreas. I think he will. I do. He just needs to be fully backed. Amorim in, fully behind him. Great show, FUTV. Thank you again for that one. 7-inch destroyer. Amorim is a rookie coach. Want him and INEOS out. No, mate. We're not getting rid of Amorim right now. He's the only one that's seen these players for who they really are. Not a chance. Thanks for the super chat, mate. Every opinion is welcome in the chats, but I'm not having Amorim going. I can't. Not at this point. Do INEOS know someone that has to do the work at Manchester United, says Andreas? I don't know, mate. And Thomas McArdle again with his second super chat of the night. INEOS business isn't going well. New Zealand Rugby are taking them to court for re-engaging on sponsorship. It's only $3 million a year. Again, bad day for INEOS. We talked about that sponsorship issue with the New Zealand rugby team earlier on today. INEOS have had a bit of a disaster. Let's be honest. They have had an absolute disaster today, and it's not gone down well. I'm going to get into the normal comments right now, then I'll get you updated with everything else that's going on. So everything that we've talked about, from the players to INEOS, let me know what you think. We have got a poll running in the chat right now, which is on, do you think, has the INEOS cost-cutting gone too far at Manchester United? 83% of you at the moment are saying yes, and 17% no. Thanks for the super sticker there, Nick, as well. Really love that, mate. Thank you. Keep your comments flying in, everybody. Make sure you have subscribed to make sure that you can get into the live chat. Join the debate right now. There are thousands in there. 2,000 of you, actually, to be exact. Thank you so much again for joining us. It is very opinionated and raw tonight, I feel. I was going to buy a season ticket, but seriously, what the actual F do INEOS think they're doing? I'll never stop supporting United, but I don't like the club at the moment. In Ruben, I trust. Yes, Casemiro, Mount Shaw, all on big wage, all watching from the stands. Yep, and the club won't. The club will not. Well, I think they're trying to. And this is their only get out. And in that comment there and in that statement from Mike Keegan and from Adam Crafton of The Athletic was the fact that INEOS are doing this to back Ruben Amorim. So unless they spend upwards of $250 million in the summer on new players, nobody's going to give them the time of day, and the hate will just keep on mounting. They need to do something significant, and they're taking it out on the working class people at the football club and the fans. This needs to stop. Stop using us to cover up the mistakes that you and the Glazers have now made at this football club in decision making. It's all right having all right transfer windows. The summer you spent a lot. You got good players in. It wasn't that bad. It's probably one of the better windows we've had. That's what everyone was saying at the time. I think it looks crap now because the team is doing shit. But at the time, we were happy with it. Happy with the players we've got rid of. Happy that we're making moves in certain areas with certain playing staff and getting them out for the first time in years. But everything else, good God, there's no defence for him. There is zero defence for him right now. And you know what? I just don't see where this gets any better for Manchester United going forward. And that's what I was saying before. Also, in the other news regarding Marcus Rashford and things like that was going on, he has sources close to Rashford have indicated that he does not appreciate being dragged into Jadon Sancho's tensions with Manchester United. Rashford wants to stay on good terms with the club and supporters. Yeah, stay away from Sancho. You should have done that when he came to the club, mate, instead of being pally-pally. But yeah, probably the most sensible thing Marcus Rashford has done. Quickly, just on the Rangers incident as well, because that news came out, and I don't want to miss anything. And Manchester United say that 1,600 Rangers fans in the home crowd was caused by touts and unofficial resellers using accounts registered on the club's database to distribute tickets rather than season ticket holders. Yeah, not completely convinced of that one. No, not at all. In terms of injury news, Alessandro Martinez is going under the knife. That has been announced now. Manchester United have come to the conclusion that the best course of action for Alessandro is to go and have the knee ligament issue operated on. I thought that would have been the obvious, to be honest, anyway, so I don't know why that's a big announcement. But yeah, Alessandro Martinez has thanked all of the fans for his support. Paul Scholes have been very vocal on a lot of things Manchester United. And you know what? I mean, some agree with him, but some think he is one of the older school players as well, about how he reacts to things. I mean, Roy Keane is one, but Paul Scholes takes it to another level, doesn't he? Paul Scholes, even when Martinez is fit, he's not good enough to win the Premier League with. Leach responds on Instagram, this jinx guy is really hurting. You put him in Argentina and he wouldn't survive. So it looks like Scholesy and Leach and Martinez are actually having a bit of a tit for tat right now as well. And a few of you in the chat are actually talking about this as well. Again, like, you've got legends talking with actual players right now. You've got a club that's being run like shit. You've got players that don't trust in the new coach that's been put in. Does anybody else want to throw their tuppence in to the situation right now? I mean, seriously, can anything else go wrong? Can anything else just bring up the negative vibe for United right now? Good God, honestly, I don't know what's happened today, but this afternoon it's gone off, hasn't it? It's gone off big time. Let's get into some more of the chats. I don't know what he meant. I mean, does Lisandro Martinez mean ginger? I don't know. Does he mean ginger? I don't know what he's saying there. This jinx, is that what they call it in Argentina? I don't know. But yeah, either way, you look at it and it just looks chaotic, doesn't it? I said this before, pundits and ex-players having their say never helps. It never has helped. And now you've got the actual players kicking off. And the most important thing from this and the news that's going on is that Manchester United's current players are not happy with Ruben Amorim. And they feel like he needs to tweak his system just to help them. God's sake. Just like the Glazers, Jim Radcliffe's CUNT, says Graham. Nick Manoi with another super chat. Thanks for that one, Gray, mate. Nick, thank you again, buddy. Mega chat there, thank you. I feel sorry for Ruben Amorim. Any manager would struggle in this environment. INEOS and the Glazers are equally inept. A massive reset is required, but I can't see where it's coming from. Well, the only thing, and I've said this every single time, the only thing that will stop this, quell it, put a halt to it, is results on the pitch. That's it. That's the only thing. The only thing that will stop any sort of aggro off the pitch, any argument from fans about what's going on, the way the club is being run, players, issues, everything we've just spoken about now in that show and the one tonight, is results on the pitch. That's it. It's all it ever has been at Manchester United. The only thing that matters is the football. And if the football's not right, everything falls apart. If the football's right, then United, we're not really an issue. Nobody's got a problem. If United is successful, I'm sure everybody was celebrating the 2008 season when we won the double while the Glazers were owning the football club. Again, Sir Alex Ferguson covered up a magnitude of issues behind the scenes at Manchester United in dragging this team over the line every single summer. But let's not forget, the Glazers didn't spend. The club spent a lot of money on players that's been wasted over the last 10 years. And again, putting the wrong people in place to run a football club like Manchester United has caused this massive issue that we've got right now. But if things actually happen in the summer and United start playing better next season, nobody will be talking about these sorts of issues. Nobody. No one would have even known about INEOS's, or even talked about INEOS's issue with the New Zealand rugby union team if they weren't part of Manchester United. This is what this club is. If you are a part of it and it isn't going well, your stock drops. That's it. You get dragged through everything as well. And the players right now, with this fan base, just to go back to what we said at the top of this show, the fans right now do not care. Just so the players are very, very clear. And if anything ever gets clipped up, and we know that the players are all watching this, stop it. We don't give a shit. Honestly, nobody cares for you anymore. Do your job on the pitch and stop whining about it. That's it. That's all you can do. And the fans will be right behind you. The fans are being slaughtered for you being shit. So the day that all of this comes out about the job cuts, price hikes that are coming, on the day that that news comes out, like I said before, on the day that Dennis Law's funeral is in Manchester, and driving past the procession through and past Old Trafford, brilliant service, excellent. It should have been a celebration of a great man's life today. But no, on that day, we've got job cuts. On that day, Manchester United staff and hard-working people are going to lose their jobs to save money because of mistakes that INEOS and the Glazers and this football club have made already in the last year. On the day a legend is buried, we've got current Manchester United players bitching and moaning about how they need help from the manager. He has to change his philosophy and his style and his ways completely. Well, not completely. The word is it's got to be tweaked a little bit. But a tweak leads to a bigger change. The players get their foot through the door and then they feel like they can get more. Once you give them a little bit, you give them a yard, they'll take a mile. That's what these players will do. Don't allow them. Don't allow them. And if you're worried about leaving Manchester United and United getting rid of you in the summer, then don't turn to who do you think's going to help you out right now? Who do you think, in leaking that news out about Ruben Amorim and you not being happy, what do you think's going to happen from that? Whoever it was, and whoever sent that out, and give it to Chris Wheeler of the Daily Mail and let him run with that story, what are you expecting to come from it? Because nothing is going to happen. We're going to be right behind Ruben Amorim. We're going to keep on being behind Ruben Amorim until he's outed everybody that cannot handle his system. Because we've had enough. We've had enough of the excuses. It doesn't matter anymore. It's pathetic. And I just think on the day of all days, I said it at the top and I'll say it again, of all days today, absolute disgrace is what it is. Absolute disgrace. Oddy Grass with another super chat. Any one of these players that can go for me and no chemistry, I don't care for any of them. I really don't. Really do not give a toss about any Manchester United players at all. Another poll, up in the chat right now. Are you joining us for the watch along? We are going to continue the chat. We're going to talk a little bit more. It's City against Madrid. We want to see City lose tonight. I think that's the only thing that's going to cheer us all up, Red. So join us on Football Talks. The link is there in the live chat as well. We're going to do the watch along later after this show finishes. So as soon as this finishes, I'm going to go get myself something to drink and eat, and then I'll be with you all. So please do get the chat going and rolling before I join you all. Let's get into a few more comments on this show. Stu says, regardless of who it was, why is Chris Wheeler pussing it out there today of all days? That's pretty low from him. Said the same there pretty much. Just tell them, get their heads right and get on with it. I wish they could, Roddy. I really do. Garnacho, Casemiro and two of the other, is that supposed to say other players among the revolts? United play 4-4-2. Amorim must be flexible and for some must start passing to Højlund. Well, they do. He can't hold the ball up though. So I think everyone's in. I think they're all in self-preservation mode, these players. They don't want to be the ones that get criticised. They're playing scared is what's happening right now. There wasn't one player from Sporting that complained about Amorim, and not one. Get rid of the muck, says Wayne. With you, mate. We need Glazers / INEOS out. They're both exactly the same. They have the worst ownership in football history. We're not coming back for a really long time while they're in charge. They won't back Amorim. I think they have to back Amorim. Let's see what they do in the summer. I think all eyes on that, because let's be honest, they're not going anywhere. As much as we moan and complain about them, they're going to still be stuck there with us, aren't they? And so are the Glazers. Let's see what they do in the summer. That's the only way they can turn this around. And like I said before, the only way that it does start to get anywhere near better is when results start going on an upward trajectory. That's it. We need to start winning, and we need to start getting the results and climbing. That's what United need to do. And until then, this is going to continue, because the media are going to have a field day with everything that goes on at Manchester United. They really are. Yep. Like I said, I think Louise there in the chat, Stu in the chat, they've all agreed with what I said there. Of all the days to break news like this, today's not the day. It really isn't. We are gifting 5 new members as well on Football Talks on the watch along, everybody. So please do come and join us straight after the show. Thank you, everybody, as well, who has already contributed to this show alone and got your comments in. It's been a good old chat tonight. There's a lot to talk about, isn't there? These players are criminals, and silly fans keep letting them get away with it, no matter how many managers complain about them. We're trying to get rid of him. Ruben's trying to get rid of him. He's the only man that's made a dent in the culture and what the issue was. He's the only man that's attempted that open heart surgery that Ralph Rangnick was blasting down the microphone when he gave up at Manchester United. He was calling everybody out. And Ruben's the only man that's picked up that baton and carried it forward and tried to mend and run that last 100 yards to try and fix what's necessary. Wreck-It Ralph laid the foundations. He did. Ruben Amorim is starting to build. He's still got a long way to go. And unfortunately, he is going to need backing by INEOS. But antics and actions that we've seen from them so far don't give this fan base much confidence. And I can feel it. I can feel it. That it is going to go down that road right now. I think the fans feel like giving up. That's what I feel. But yes, Football Talks is my other channel, everybody. The link is right there in the live chat. So make sure you go across there and subscribe as well. We do all other football stories from the Premier League as well on there. So that has just started pretty much this year. So we're just growing it from scratch. So all of your support is more than welcome over there as well, everybody. We're almost at 500 live likes, everyone. Please do get your likes in the chat, please. Anyone in the chat, please get your likes on the video. Make sure you have subscribed to For Every Night TV as well. We're on the road to 75k, everyone. We're nearly there. Let's get going. Almost, I think this year going to get to that 100k as well, which would be nice. It would be very nice. I'm still shocked Adam is 45. Who said I was 45? I'm not 45. Liars. No, does anyone... I don't want to be discussing my age. I tell you what, I'll tell you my age if you come over to Football Talks. I will reveal all. I'll be over there, obviously. We're going to be kicking off around about 20 to 8. The City game and Madrid game is our game today. But yeah, just to give you updated on the Lisandro Martinez situation. Paul Scholes aside, and that's it for tat. Honestly, Lisandro needs to be careful what he's doing, for one. Paul Scholes, legend of this football club. That's a problem on its own. Scholes needs to be careful what he's doing. We don't need players that are currently playing arguing with legends of this football club. It's just going to divide the fan base again. So, yeah, I don't like that. But Lisandro has gone under the knife. He is having an operation on his knee ligament injury that he picked up in that game against Crystal Palace. So, that is actually happening right now. INEOS are cutting over 100 jobs, 100 more from Manchester United. All to fund Ruben Amorim, apparently, in the summer. Yeah, we'll see on that one. We'll see if that happens. Not a day without drama, Saeed in the chat, mate. Honestly, it's a roller coaster. Forget the roller coaster on the pitch. It's the waltzes, the rapids, the big one, any roller coaster you want, any fairground ride you want, all put into one. And that's what United is off the pitch as well. What a day. What an absolute day for Manchester United. But yeah, that is it on the show, everybody. We are rounding it up there. I will be over on Football Talks a bit later on as well. You will be directed across onto that one there. So keep the conversation going. have a chat, and I'll be seeing you all in there very soon. Thank you for all of the super chats. Thank you for all of the likes. Keep them coming in. We should hit that 500 mark just before I finish up right now. Thank you, everybody. Again, mods and members helping out in the chat. Everyone who's been involved, thank you so much. I will see you all over a bit later on Football Talks, and let's have a good old night of it. Cheers, everybody. Have a fantastic evening. See you in a few moments.